Sailor.
Out of all the main characters in your books, which one do you relate to the most?
Alaska. Is Alaska count as a main character? I mean, Alaska is the person who's most like my high school self, certainly. But, I mean, I wasn't a hot girl, but other than that, in terms of, like, sort of profound self-destructive impulses and a complete inability to control myself, probably most like Alaska. All the way in the back.
When you write, how much do you direct your characters and how much do they direct themselves?
I try to direct them entirely. Like, I always remember that they're products of my imagination and that we're trying to accomplish something together, rather than I'm just letting them like roam free around the world. Like, I want it to feel to you like something that we're creating together. I think books are collaboratively created because they're so abstract in a way that film isn't and television isn't, you know, because you have to translate these marks on a page into ideas inside your head. But when I'm writing, I want to be in at least like some control. But I do try very hard to imagine my characters as full people and to empathize with them and to think about what their lives are like. Yes?
Are any of your characters based on people that you do know in your life?
Yeah. I always say no, but that's just a lie. So I don't know if it's a lie, but like definitely. Like my friend Hassan, whenever he's asked if he's like Hassan in Abundance of Catherine, he's always like, I am not fat! Or like, when I did a signing in Atlanta with my two best friends from high school, and someone asked the question, which of your characters are you most like? And I said Alaska, and then my best friend from high school like raised his hand and said like, that's ridiculous. And then he was like, you're like, oh, I don't remember what you called all of the people in the book. But I think that's a radical oversimplification. The character Margot Ross Spielman is definitely like the initial inspiration for her character came from someone I knew in high school, and I'll tell a story about him if you want. I will, because I have the microphone. Okay, so I knew this guy in high school named John Malden, and Malden didn't believe in the future, and he didn't believe in consequences in a way that was hugely alluring. When we were juniors in high school, someone bet Malden $10 that he couldn't get to Kentucky without driving or flying or paying for anything. And he was like, no problem. He jumped, like he like ran behind a freight train, like jumped onto it like a hobo, rode into Kentucky, jumped off. Then once he was in Kentucky, he'd already won the bet, so he hitchhiked to the airport, bought a $400 one-way ticket to fly back to Birmingham, called his mom from the airport and was like, hi, I'm at the Birmingham airport, I need you to pick me up. She went and picked him up, so he spent like $400 to win a $10 bet. The summer after my senior year of high school, when I was like working at a restaurant putting pieces of chicken into pita bread over and over again, like in precisely the way that a machine should have been doing that job, and everyone else was working, you know, crap jobs at Haagen-Dazs or whatever. The second day of summer vacation, Malden bought 400 pairs of Levi blue jeans, put them into 7 suitcases, I think, a ton of suitcases, drove to Mexico, flew to Havana, Cuba, sold the jeans on the black market in Havana, flew back to Mexico, drove back to Birmingham, and by like the 8th day of summer vacation, he had made more money than all of us would all summer. One last story about Malden that does not involve his childhood, but his adulthood. So Malden drops out of college, as I recall. I'm not sure about this. He now runs a pomegranate juice empire in Turkey, no joke. But Malden drops out of college, and he goes to China to teach English. And he's like in some really rural village in western China, the Islamic part of China. And his sister is studying abroad in England. And he decides, oh, and side note, it's September like 8th, 2001. And he decides that he's going to travel by rail. Like he doesn't want to, his rule was, I'm not going to get more than 3 feet off the ground. And I'm going to get to Cali in London. So, whereabouts of September 12th, it so happens that he's in Uzbekistan trying to get into Afghanistan. and he gets arrested, and he gets thrown into Uzbek jail, and like our most right-wing senator, Richard Shelby, has to like lobby on his behalf to get him out of this Uzbek prison that he ended up spending 2 weeks in. And then, that's not even the most amazing part of the story. The most amazing part of the story is he proceeded to go all the way to London on rail. He just skirted around Afghanistan. So I was thinking, like, what would it be like to be Malden with like all the gender politics that are involved in being a woman, particularly like a young woman who is sort of beloved at her high school, and that was where the character of Margot started from, and the character of Q started from thinking about Hank in Orlando in those sort of dark days when I was at boarding school and he was at Winter Park High School and in the band and everything. So I was thinking about him and like, what if those two people had collided, and you know, how would that work? And then, you know, because I was thinking about all this stuff about the other and the identity and the way we conceive of others simply, that's where like all the Walt Whitman stuff came in. So that's how it started. Yes?
Growing up, did you always know you were going to be going to boarding school, or did you
No.
need to escape?
I needed to escape, yeah. I mean, I went to public school until I was done with 9th grade, and I was just really failing. Socially, academically, I was doing really, really poorly. And so my parents finally let me go to boarding school. I'd been asking, and they finally let me, so.
Did you get to pick?
Yeah, I did. I got to pick the school. I mean, the school was like one that my uncles went to, and like my cousin was there at the time, which I thought would be great because he would like welcome me into the school, you know. And on the first day that I was there, while I was sleeping, he inserted a shaving cream container inside my nostril, and like I had to get my sinuses irrigated at like 5 o'clock in the morning in the emergency room. So, thanks, Braxton. We're now like dear friends. Okay, 2 more questions, then we have to stop because we have to sign for 62 hours.
Have you ever experienced writer's block? And if so, what got you moving?
The question is about writer's block. Okay, so I used to always tell myself that like coal miners don't get to get coal miners block and carpenters don't get to get carpenters block, but that is actually hugely unhelpful. It's clever, but it doesn't work. What works for me is giving myself permission to suck. And to understand that, like, you know, almost everything I write is going to be deleted anyway, so what is the point about worrying about it? So yeah, that's what I try to tell myself. Okay, 2 more questions. You, and then you. And then we're done. So you're the last question, no pressure. Make it good. Nothing like how's Willie? Willie's fine. Yes?
What do you watch on TV?
Oh, I watch How I Met Your Mother because it stars a guy I went to college with, Josh Brown. His sister's a good friend of mine, so I want to support him. And then, soccer. I don't watch a lot of TV, I have to say. But it seems funny when I turn it on, yeah. One last question?
Yeah. What has been your favorite place going along the tour so far?
Oh, Los Angeles, California. That I'm keenly aware of the fact that, like, I am outlandishly, outrageously lucky that not everyone has a readership like I do, that not everyone's readers read so thoughtfully and so critically and with such overwhelming depth. I am really, really grateful to all of you tonight. I want you to know I seriously understand that I am outrageously fortunate to know people who are so wonderful, who are so awesome. I know how awesome you are. I hope you do too. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much! Sorry. Can we say that we're sorry all once the overflow people? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Sorry. It was great in here, but I bet it was fun in there too. You can come in now to the regular room, and if you want folks to help out there, and also.